if my creative work were edible, what would it taste like? It's probably not too dissimilar from like Sour Brite gummy worms, but like right when you're done, it just turns into pasta. You'd be like, whoa, what is going on? It's so fulfilling and delicious.
In middle school, I got picked on a lot because I was really tall, like super tall, like the tallest kid in my class. They used to call me Jinky Giraffe or like the ferret or something like that. So, around that time, I got really depressed and like down on myself, like, oh my God, maybe I am weird. Like maybe I don't fit in with everybody else. But then I got picked up by IMG Modeling Management, and they were like, all the things that's wrong about you and that you got picked on in middle school are all the things that's going to make you money. Just kind of took a turn for the better.
My mom always wanted me to become an accountant other than being an artist and tattooer, of course. She has changed her mind. In the beginning, yeah, she was kind of like, why can't you do something else? I enjoy your paintings and drawings, but why are you getting tattoos? I got a lot of heat from that, but since then it's all gone to the wayside, and she definitely supports now.
Because I've always wanted to be creative. Everyone in my family is a musician. We all play a bunch of instruments. We all sing all the time. So they understand how important art is. I think I'm just the only one in the family who's trying to turn it into a career. So they're okay with it as long as there is some result of it. Obviously, if there's no money, then there's no reason to do it. I know that sounds really, oh man, he's only in it for the money. Well, kinda, a little bit. If you're not making any money, then you're not doing it right. You're not doing it for the right reason. You can love what you do, but you need to profit from it. I have to eat, I have to live somewhere. We are very privileged. I have a cell phone, I have a car, I need to pay for those things. So if you're not making money, then maybe you should consider a different career.
I started drawing, I think, when I was, according to my parents, 3 years old. I just never would let go of a paper and a pencil, and I just kept doing it over the years, and finally they decided to put me in art school. I learned how to paint, I learned about colors, and then I got interested in something a little more technological, like software that I could use to draw instead of just the traditional way, which is with a pencil.
I got a couple tattoos done. A friend of mine knew that I could draw and paint, thought that'd be a good avenue or a hobby outside of the job that I was currently involved in. So I went back to the artist that was doing my tattoos to check on an apprenticeship, showed him what I could draw and such, and he actually took me under his wing.
Be determined. Be really determined, because there's so many obstacles and there's so many people that's going to tell you that you're not good enough.
I know what it feels like when people say, I hate this, or this color looks hideous.
I mean, I think that's the life of an artist, really, is getting over yourself. You can see other people's works and you can pick it apart and you can say, oh, you did this wrong, you did these little things wrong. But with your own work, because you're so involved in it, you take literally days worth of work to sometimes put a piece together, and it can get really overwhelming. I think that it transcends art. It has to do with people. We ourselves, we hate ourselves. George Clooney once was interviewed and he said that some days he doesn't think he's attractive. He's George Clooney. I mean, if George Clooney can think he's unattractive, then I'm allowed to think some days that I don't look very pretty. I do think I look pretty, just for the record, but we're allowed those moments where you fail, where you don't feel that you're up to it as a designer, where you don't feel that you're good enough. So just if you're remembering that in your artistic adventures, that it's okay to have those moments where you stumble. And I think that's really how I get through it.
I like a lot of, well, people would consider it weird things, like spiders with an eyeball in the back or a dragon with two heads. And yeah, I guess it does sound a little scary, but I find all these things interesting. Like, to me, they're beautiful. I consider that art because it's weird. It's not normal. It's not something that you see every day. I like something that comes out of your head, imagination. Something creative, something different. Try to stay out of the box, basically. It's just anything that you can think of, you can turn into art. Bunch of clothing you could use and stick it on a piece of paper, that could work. You never know, so it's just you being not just able but willing to try new things. That really helps. People are afraid of change, so don't be afraid of change. If you're used to the pencil, get used to the brush, get used to charcoal, glue, rocks, anything you can think of.
Being different, it's not really like being different at all in the fashion industry, because there's so many people and so many designs and so many aesthetics. So we're just like one big gumbo, just a whole bunch of different tomatoes and all type of stuff just stirred up in this fashion industry. Yeah.
I think one of the things that only I can control and this is true for anyone who is an artist, is just the level of work that you do. It's usually your dedication to the art, and that's what really sets you apart. The harder that I work, the more intimate I am with my project, the better I'm going to be at it.
I had a client come through, her father passed away, and so I did a portrait of him on her back, and it was very moving. I get teared up.
I want my work to speak for me. I want people to remember, I guess, that I've done something. I know that that's really small, but that's really what I want.
I would love to be remembered not just by my work, but my personality. To know that I influenced other people, not just in the style of their work, but how they think, how they treat themselves, how they live their life in a positive way, you know, always looking ahead.
Like, that's a win-win. Hang it up. Where do I go?